today, let's talk about Philippine Englishes. So, Philippine Englishes. When you say Philippine Englishes, we have here a word native. Why native? Because Philippine Englishes is a variety of English which is native from the Philippines. So, when you say native, it is derived or originated or the Filipino themselves made the said language or the said version of the English.
So now that we already know the definition of Philippine English or what the Philippine English is all about, now let us give you a key points of what are we going to discuss for today's session. So we have here the word 42 million or the 70% of the population. So do you know that 42 million or 70% of Philippine population uses Philippine English as their second language? Now, they are using Philippine English as their second language. It is because the English as second language or the English language is used or taught inside the Philippine schools, and it is also considered as one of the two official languages in our country.
But before we elaborate the set of we have a two official languages in Philippines, in Philippine English. Let's me give you another trivia of the Philippine history. Did you know that Philippine is first introduced English by the British during 1762 when the British invaded the Manila and Cavite. But the thing is, despite of having the fact that British introduces English to us first, we adopted an American transplanted English. So as of now, we are using an American version of English.
So now, since we already know or we already have an idea of what are we going to discuss for today, now let's talk about the official or the two official languages. So as what I have mentioned earlier, the Philippine or our country has two official languages, namely the Tagalog and then the American English. So the Tagalog, so we already know that our Philippine language is Filipino. So whenever there's a, like for example, a visitor who came from Manila or who came from Luzon, we tend to talk or to use the Tagalog language as a way of formally communicating or interacting with them. And then so the American English also is considered as official language because just like what I have said earlier, the English is already taught in school, and also they are using the English language as the medium of communication.
Thank you very much, Christian, for giving us the two official languages in the Philippines. And now let's move on. Did you know that aside from two official languages, we have here a different branches of Philippine Englishes, in which are Bislish and the Taglish. These are the two types of Philippine Englishes. And as we dig deeper, let me give you a definition of the word Bislish. When you say Bislish, it is any form of English or any language of English which is combined by any Visayan language. And when you say Taglish, it is a Tagalog infused with English. And before that, we would like to give you a example of different branches of the Philippine Englishes, including the Philippine English itself.
So let's move first to the examples of the Philippine English. Since we are talking about Philippine English, so let us know or let us introduce some of the words that are considered as one of examples of the Philippine English. So the first one is chancing. So when we say chancing, it is defined in American English. It is defined as doing something by accident. But here in the Philippines, in our country, when we hear about the word chancing, it is commonly used to describe a person who is doing something or like taking advantage of someone's situation in a pervert way.
Okay, the next example is the term nosebleed. So when you hear the word nosebleed in medical terminologies, nosebleed is a health problem, or sometimes can be a serious problem in our health. But when a Filipino say the word nosebleed, it defines as an extreme or an overwhelming reaction of an individual when he or she heard someone speaking or talking in English.
And the last one here is the next week. So in American English, it is literally grammatically wrong because the word next week is a sign of redundancy. Instead of saying next week, we can probably use second week because it is the correct construction of grammar. And this phrase doesn't or didn't follow the grammar rules. So let's move on to the Taglish.
So we have here for Taglish or Tagalog infused with English, we have here the first word which is malalate. So when you say malalate, it is a Tagalog combined with the word English which is the late. So male is a Tagalog word while late is an English word, and combined together it is formed a Taglish word. Malalate means someone is going to be late, or you are going to be late.
So the second one is the babay. Now, if we hear something like babay, it means that we are bidding our goodbyes. So the word ba is constructed with the word bye in English, which is like, bidding goodbyes. So when we hear something like that, we can use that in a form of, like for example, bye-bye, uuwi na ako. And that's how we use the word bye-bye in Taglish.
And last but not the least, for the Taglish example, we have here the word carry. So in English translation, which is carry means putting or lifting something, or putting some weight on an object. But in Taglish form, when we hear the word carry, it means like you're cheering someone onto something. Like for example, your friend is worried about something that you cheered on him, like you can do it. Like you can say it, carry mo yan, girl.
Yes. So
and now let's move to the
Bislish. So we have here the word bakwit. When we say bakwit, what comes to our mind? So the word bakwit eventually came from the English word evacuate, which means going to the safer place when the natural disaster came. So we say bakwit like we are, just like what I have said, it is used in a form of like giving warning to someone or to somebody that we should go to a safer place because that place is not, or it's already alarming. So the second one
is bring house. So when you hear the word bring house, the basically first thing that comes into your mind is you're going to bring something to your home or to your house. But here in the Philippines, especially in Visayas area or Visayas region, when you hear the word bring house, it is specifically referring that you came from an event or a party or any occasion of your friend or relatives, and they expect you to bring something from the said event. Any dish that you can bring from the said event, like it was used like, uy, pagdag bring house. Yan.
Yes. So now that we already know the branches of Philippine English, no, these branches, we can say that Filipino really is creative in a way that they are making some branches of languages in terms of Philippine English.
Since we Filipinos are so-called smart, we tend to
Yes.
create any ideas from any word that we heard from any languages. And since we are so-called smart, we can adapt things easily, even a language from another countries.
So that's it for today's discussion. My name is Christian Raymondez.
And my name is Marilu Bibambe.
And we are Group 5. Thank you.
Thank you.